So now you might be asking yourself, so why out of all the John Deere garden tractors they ever made, why am I saying the 210 is one of the best? Through the video here, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to point out some interesting features on these tractors, why I say even though some of these models are 50 years old today, if you're still looking for a strong, reliable garden tractor, and if you find one of these that are in good condition, they're not a bad investment to pick up. So a little history on these tractors here. This tractor here was produced from 1975 to 1987. Now these tractors were built in Horicon, Wisconsin. Now how they identified these tractors is obviously the 210. The 2 means it's the 200 series, and the 10 would be the horsepower. They made the 208, this one, the 12, the 14, 16, and it is what it is. You know, if you had a 214, you had a 14 horse. Now these come with the K-Series Kohler engine in them. These were a very good engine to have in your tractor. This also comes with a 4-speed 2300 series Peerless rear end. You had 4 forward gears and 1 reverse. Now these rear ends were very strong in these tractors. A lot of guys will use these in garden tractor pulls today because of they're pretty tough. This is also a belt-driven tractor that has a mechanical variator that helps control the speeds of the tractor when it is in motion. Something else on these tractors as well, when you're on one of these mowing your lawn and this is how they handle and they steer, you know that you're on a well-built tractor, as opposed if you're like on a Troy built or an MTD built tractor that they're this light as a feather when you're turning. Not this one. This tractor here is almost 700 pounds, 690 pounds if you want to be exact. And when you're on it mowing, you definitely know it's heavy. Now, if you're a homeowner looking for a garden tractor to start out with, and you know you don't want to go out and spend $5,000-$6,000 for a new John Deere they got today, if you can find one of these older 210s for a good price, you know, I've seen these things go from anywhere from $500 on up to $1,200 if they have all the attachments. See, that's another good thing about these tractors here is the attachments they got with. Now these either come with a 38-inch mid-mount mower deck or the 46-inch. Now your 38s were more common on your smaller tractors like your 8 and 10 and 12. Once you got up your 14 and 16s, you would see the 46-inch deck. You could put the 46-inch deck on your 210s and 208s, but it is a little much for the horsepower on that. I can tell you that at first hand. What other attachments can you get for these tractors? Well, you could either get a 42-inch snowplow to put on these tractors, or you could get a 38-inch single-stage snowblower to put on this. And another cool thing, you could even set these up to run a tiller on the back of it. The John Deere Model 31 tiller goes right on the back one of these. You'd have to get the hitch and everything to mount it on the back, but it makes a nice piece. Now this 210 that I have here, this is a 1979. I picked this up this summer. It had been sitting for a couple years in the back of a garage. It did run when I got it, but I just had to do some minor tuning and tweaks on it to get it to where it is today. It is in really good condition on here. The grill's in good shape. The fiberglass hood on it doesn't have any cracks or breaks in it like a lot of them do. And another cool feature about this is a lot of times they're missing the side covers on these tractors, and I was fortunate enough that this one had them, which is great because they're hard to find, and if you do find them, they're not cheap. Now the only thing that's really not great on this yellow duct tape seat on here is much to be desired, but that's something I plan on replacing. Now this has, like I say, this is the 10 horse K241 engine. This also has another cool feature on this. This has the electric mower lift on it. There's your 2 solenoids right there that run and operate that. Now what's cool how this variator works, you have your brake right here, you shift the gear, but say you want 3rd gear with it for like trimming, you can control your speed with this lever right here on the side. You push down if you want to go fast, you know, all the way full speed in like 3rd gear, or if you want to slow it down, you can pull it back and it'll also slow you down as well. So another cool feature about this tractor that I want to tell you about, say you got a really big lawn and you don't like to stop to put gas in your tractor. Well, this 210 here has a rather big tank in it at 3.5 gallons. So you can fill this thing up, and if you have a big lawn, it's going to go for a while before you have to put some gas in it. Now something else with this tractor, it appears like it has the original tires that are on it. There is some minor checking on the tires. Probably replacing the tires will be something I'll have to do in the future on this. You know, tires are always an investment on any kind of tractor. I'm going to go ahead and start this thing up. As you can all hear how this thing sounds. She runs really good. You gotta love those safety switches they put on them when you get off the seat. So that's something for me that I'm gonna take and bypass on it. I don't want that. Now, until this thing warms up, she does smoke a little bit. So I'm gonna run this thing for a little bit, and I'm gonna drain the oil out and put some fresh oil in it and put a little bit of a snake oil in it, if you will, for now, just to kind of slow it down. And it might be just one of those things that's been sitting for a while. It just needs to be run some more. But I don't really want to tear into this engine and rebuild it if I absolutely don't have to. I want to keep this tractor as original as possible. Now, I'm not going to go through and do a full-blown restoration on this tractor. I'm just going to clean it up a little bit. Like the wheels on it, the yellow on that could be touched up a little bit. And some of the scratches that are in the green, like up in here, I'm going to sand this out and touch up some of the green. And once all of the paint is touched up on it, I'll re-sand it again. And I'm just going to put a nice coat of clear on it just so it's shiny again. This will help preserve it. And I'm going to replace the seat on it, as I said. Just try to keep this as original as possible. I'm not going to use this thing for mowing the grass. This is going to be something that I take to some of the tractor shows, along with some of my other tractors that you've seen on here as well. So how's this thing mow? Well, come with me. Let's go out in the yard and let's do a little mowing here, and I'll show you how nice these 210s mow. So, as you saw when I was mowing the grass with this tractor here, did you notice my hands in the video on the steering wheel? Very relaxed. The tractor wasn't wanting to dart off this way or that way like you get on some garden tractors out there. You're mowing the grass. This tractor is just very smooth when you're mowing. How are you doing on being sold on one of these John Deere 210s? Still not convinced? Well, how about we get you on the driver's seat on this. I'm going to do the best I can at giving you the experience, what it's like sitting on the seat driving this tractor. Now, as you can see, this tractor is just very smooth to drive here. Putting very little effort into turning this. As you can see here, just watch my hands. There's no stutter in the steering on it. Now, I'm down here in third gear. Now I'll show you how this variator works. See, I can pull this bar back and it slows me right down, control my speed. But then I can go all the way forward and it speeds me up just like that. So that's one feature that I absolutely love about this tractor. I'll pull it back down again. were some bumps with this. It's fairly comfortable to ride with a seat. It does have a little bit of spring to it. This is kind of bumpy right here in my yard with the ground moles. Like I say, this is a heavier tractor, so it doesn't beat you up like a cheaper model tractor does. That's kind of my point with these machines. Now, let's go climb this hill over here and show you how this does with that. She marches right up the hill, no problem. Now I'm going to go ahead and stop this thing, and I'm going to pop this thing in 4th gear, and I'm going to show you how fast this thing can go. So I'll push my clutch in down there. You can see here, she scoots right along pretty good. See, and again, I'm in high gear. I can really slow this thing right down with this variator handle. Hopefully you're all seeing me work this variator as I do this. Now we're going to go back to 3rd. I find with this tractor, 3rd gear works really well for me with this. Hopefully after seeing that, you'll agree with me. This is a nice driving, smooth driving tractor and has a good ride to it. It's not just using one of these if you're looking for something that's inexpensive to buy that is good quality and built well for your homestead at home. If you're a tractor collector or someone that likes to buy these older John Deere tractors and restore them, this is a very good tractor to pick up and restore, as well as simply because you can get parts for these tractors. All the parts from the 208, 212, 14, 16 are interchangeable on these, as well as your John Deere 110 and 112. They have interchangeable parts for these as well if you're looking to restore one of these. So after watching this and some of the things I pointed out on this John Deere 210, are you convinced yet that this John Deere 210, or I guess for the matter, any of these older 200 series, are one of the best tractors that John Deere ever made?